quarter of the location costs. I'm going out and starting in January to get event sponsors to help cover the city's costs, because I'm asking these organizations to come in and host events. I'm not going to charge and be like, hey, I want you to come host an event, but you have to pay me to do it. I'm trying to get that cost covered. And like I said, me and Jeff started this plan roughly 6 months ago, and we had an idea of having 3 different sports, 3 or 4, and it blew up really quick into what we have so far. We're hoping this year it might not make money, but if we start building on every year. I had 2 events thought I had planned, but they didn't get on their national schedules, and they didn't want to compete with things going on nationally for their sport, so they backed out. If we go ahead and start playing this stuff, and this be an every year annual sports festival event in June, we can get on to national level competitions and hopefully have them here. With cheerleading, Jeff has worked out the tournament or the event that's going to happen in June will be the smallest of 3 events. There will be one in October and November. October will be a pre-nationals, and then November will be a nationals tournament. It roughly goes from having 15 teams of 20 to 20 teams of 20 to 25 to 50 teams of 20, just for those events. So it'll put Durant on the map for different events, giving people a chance to see these different types of sports being played. And we're trying to keep, as for the tournament directors, are keeping the costs low so more people can be involved. Next year prices might go up. It depends on what each organization does. How I've been doing this is reaching out to different organizations saying, hey, would you like to plan an event? We're trying to do a big event in June. We want you to be involved. You guys come up with your own pricing, and you just got to give me your list of expenses and all that, so I can kind of present to you guys in a couple of months. Questions about all that?
Is this just for youth?
It's going to be all ages. We have like adult rugby, adult softball, and then you have events that like cornhole, fishing. It'll be all ages. There's not going to be any divisions involved. We're trying to have as many people, as big of a demographic as possible. Some weekends are going to be more focused towards adults, but we're going to try to have at least adult and kid stuff going on at the same time, but without interfering with one another, because if you have an adult softball tournament going on at the same time as a youth baseball or softball tournament, parents might not be able to play. So we're trying to separate and space everything out so we have enough room, not only at the complex to host all these events, but in Durant in general. I don't want to have 5,000 people in town all at once and make it where it is a pain to go to the complex or go to these events to see.
So instead of events, you're having tournaments, right?
Tournaments, events. So I'm leaving these organizations to come up with it. Durant High School Tennis, Durant School Tennis is planning on either possibly doing a tournament or a camp. The scuba and archery bow is an event, but we have tournaments that are going to be 2-day tournaments. Some are going to be 3-day. Some tournaments are only going to be a single day. Like fishing tournament, they're only planning on doing a 1-day tournament. Cornhole, I'm up in the air of trying to make it a 2-day deal, but it's really hard to make cornhole a 2-day event. So it might be a 1-day and just have multiple days of hosting it.
Now the 10 and 12 and 14, I know they have, girls softball, baseball, and the boys do too.
Yep.
And I know when you put that up, but it's got to be over a year and a half ahead, because they look ahead at least a year to get in these tournaments. And I'm telling you, it brings families.
It brings in a lot. So, like I said, this year is really just getting us established. we might not get a whole, we anticipate 8 teams for each division of baseball and softball. He says he can fit up to 50 teams altogether, but I was like, keep it manageable, because if you overshoot yourself on the first year, it's gonna be hard to convince people to come back the next year. So we're trying to start small in each of these groups so we can get on the national level. With baseball and softball, he's more focused on getting the surrounding towns to come in along with his rec teams. But he's, like he said, he's anticipating 8 teams for sure for each division, and it'll be 4 divisions. But he said he can have up to 10 to 12 per division.
Are you charging $5, $10 per car to come in, because they do that a lot?
That's up to the organization. We're allowing them, because in my experience, if these organizations that run their own tournaments, they don't make the money off of the entry fee. That is really going off for paying officials or paying for awards and all that. It's the gate fee that comes in. So the gate fee, I'm leaving it up to the organization to make their own deal. The fees that they are coming up with for entry fee, again, it's leaving it up to them. But I told them to make it manageable for themselves, because if we can't get the grant or the project money, we want to be able to sustain and still have the event. We're gonna ask for the money to help cover the cost of the officials. That's all we're really worried about, because that's the biggest expense of every tournament. And for these small tournaments, they're not worrying about expenses because it's minuscule. But baseball and softball, you're looking at $2,000 to $3,000 in just official costs.
Right,
So
how
there's a
many?
concession stand, and they make big money there. So who gets that money on
It's
that?
City of Durant will get the concession.
So they'll have it open all the time?
We'll have the concession stands open.
Ron, how many of the events will be hosted for more than one day? And how many do you anticipate will actually be in hotels?
So I anticipate, when I figured it out, 1 to 4 people that are coming in as guests. I didn't include the participation amount, because since a lot of these tournaments are youth, they're not the ones paying for the hotel, it's the guests. So 1 to 4, that's my guesstimation. As for multi-day tournaments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of the people that have said they're going to do something will be or 2-day tournaments.
But
I
when
know.
you present the grant, you will have all of that in
We will have all that information.
Okay.
Like baseball, softball, they're going to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Rugby's doing Saturday, Sunday. Adult softball, they'll have one division on Saturday and one division on Sunday. So they might play and be in both, but for the most part, it's going to be a 1 day. Like I said, fishing is going to be a 1 day. Football will be a 2 day. Stickball, I believe, will be a 2 day, and same thing with fast pitch softball. So we're trying to make it where all these tournaments are multi-days, but for the events that are single day events, we're still trying to get people here. Like with cornhole, I figured if we have they play a game every hour and a half. That way they have an hour and a half to go around town, go shopping, go eat, do all that. That's the goal, to have a minimum or a maximum of an hour and a half, or around average an hour and a half between games, so they can go around town.
So later on, you just have, not in June, but on these 10, 12, and 14s, you can have one of those every month, right? Up to probably September, October.
Right now, we don't
Later on.
have enough staff to plan one per month, because in my experience of planning tournaments, it takes 6 months to really get one planned out. So if you had one every month, things would fall through. If you're going to plan a tournament, you want to plan at least, like you said, a year out, but you are really focused on a tournament every 6 months. If you plan too much than that, it will oversaturate The-
This is a starting point.
Yes.
You can go toward Denison and anywhere between
And
April and
even in
October.
Denison, it's,
If you look over there on the west side of the highway, right before you get to that 503 spur, you'll see that complex down there, and almost every weekend.
and with that
there's
complex,
tournaments.
it's not the city planning those tournaments, it's different organizations coming in and planning them.
All right.
So that's the biggest issue with us, is we've had,
And we can do that later on.
yeah, later on, if we get people that want to come in and have a tournament, that'd be great. But right now, they are going to Denison, they are going to these other locations. With Bryan County Sports, he's starting to host tournaments here in Durant once a month. He tried to do one every weekend at the complex this summer, and none of them panned out because he had so many tournaments that people didn't, just said, okay, it's not worth it.
Okay, this is off, that, we're getting off
Yeah.
into the weeds here. We need to move on. Thank you,
Okay.
Ryan. All right.
Well, the main thing this will bring in too is there's gonna be a lot of sales tax it'll bring into
Yes.
town and restaurants and hotels and everything,
Okay.
so that's a big plus.
One of our main members has to leave just quickly, so let's come to the items that, need to be approved. Number 5, Magnolia Festival.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're just trying to get ahead this year on the Magnolia Festival. I don't know how many years I've chaired and co-chaired the Magnolia Festival, 15. I can't keep up, but we're trying to get ahead of it this year with the $10,000 grant sponsorship. We know what it brings. I know what it brings to the city. I know what it brings to the tribe and stuff, because I mean, there's over, at least 100 to 150,000 people every year that attend the Magnolia Festival. And with all the vendors that come out there, most of them, they don't stay at the resort, they stay in town, and even guests, because last year we brought in the Transformers, and we had calls from Louisiana to, all over Texas just to come in and see that event. So, we have a budget, even $60,000 on entertainment this year, so we don't know what entertainment we're gonna have yet, but it'll be something big. And what this $10,000 sponsorship will do will help purchase magnolia trees that, for the beautification of the city, and it brings, even people that grew up in Durant, brings them back home for the weekends where they stay at family or friends or a hotel and stuff. But for me, the Magnolia Festival speaks for itself. It has for a number of years and has won, the Red Bud Award and different things, something that I'm very proud of. Been, I don't know how many more years I'll do it, but I've enjoyed chairing and co-chairing the Magnolia Festival for a number of years, and I'll be glad to take any questions.
I'd make a motion to approve the grant.
Scott,
Thank you,
we're
James.
on
The
line.
Choctaw Nation, they let the Magnolia Festival, they didn't cost the.
Yeah, we don't charge the event center. Yep. Yep. So that's kind of the tribe's part, giving back to the community and the Chamber of Commerce on that, so yeah.
Motion's been made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Grace, can you call the roll? Thank you, James.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Calhoun,
Yes.
Trustee Davis,
Yes.
Trustee Reed,
Abstain.
Trustee Thorpe,
Yes.
Chairman Dewald,
Yes.
Chairman Shear.
Yes. Okay. Number 6, approval of the 2024 scheduled meetings.
If you look in your packet, they are page 32 is our schedule for 2024. Every month is last Tuesday of the month at 3 p.m. here, with the exception of December, which we canceled because that hits Christmas and New Year's.
Grace, what's the November 26th? When does Thanksgiving fall that year?
Not that week.
Not that week, okay.
It's a week
Or-
prior to, I believe, wasn't
Okay.
it? Yeah.
So we'll have no meeting next month either, right? There's no meeting in December.
This had an asterisk by it. Do you know what it said?
Do we have a meeting? in
There
December?
is a scheduled meeting in December. However, I need to call roll and see who can be there. If there's not a quorum, then we can go ahead and say there's not a quorum. But if we have important things to discuss, then we'll
So
hold it.
unless we call it, we have no meeting this next month.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe it's
depending
not
on
next
if a quorum can show, And that's what we'll have to determine. If there is a quorum, yes, a meeting can be held.
In the past,
This year,
it's been.
no meeting can-
That's what
Yeah.
that's what we are.
In the past, the
Looking at
December
right
meeting
now.
has always been moved around and then canceled and moved, so we just went ahead and said no December meeting, cause it's the last of the month.
Does this actually mean anything?
No, it was just showing that it was not in sync with the day.
Okay, I think that's pretty
How does this
straightforward.
compare with, like?
Have a motion
So moved.
approved?
Thanksgiving next week.
Yes.
Okay, got a motion to approve, you have a second?
Second.
Second, okay, Grace?
Trustee Calhoun,
Yes.
trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Reed,
Yes.
trustee Thorpe,
Yes.
vice chair Dewald,
Yes.
chairman Shear.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 7, discuss and consider changes to the DTEDA grant application.
I asked for this to be put on, and it's not really a major change, but in looking over the grants that we have granted this past year, we are granting a lot of $10,000 amounts to budgets that are $20,000, which means that we are basically paying for the event through that. My suggestion is that we look at those when they come in. If the budget is $100,000 or more, then that's a qualification for the $10,000. If not, then we have to jury it and say it's $5,000 or $2,500 at that point. I just feel that, as Charlie mentioned last month, if we continue to do it, we have to do it in some type of a strategic way, that the budget is there and we're already looking at that budget, and that they are capable of having the event without that, but it enhances the event because we are hoping to provide an additional amount to pull people in. It's a suggestion. I think we need to look at that as we go into next year and this year, the remainder of this year and 24. And Charlie had mentioned earlier to me that he has seen a decrease in business that he thinks will be reflected in our collection of the tax. So there again, we may need to really start jurying it a little closer.
So does this agenda item require any action today?
Not specifically today. If you would like, I can put something together that would show the number of grants that we have had and the amounts that we have funded for,
And what you recommend?
and what the budget is.
Okay.
It's just something that I think that as we approach 2024, that we have to consider it.
So what about the amount that they have in their account when they come back and ask for one?
Well, that's another thing that we need
If
to.
they have zero, it shows you something big time.
Well, it does show, yeah, you're exactly right, it does show.
They need a certain amount
I-
in that account.
Well, and there again, that's something that we can include in that when we look at it. I just think that we really need to look at a different structure than we've had before as we approach the 24-25,
So we're gonna look at it more next month, right?
probably January.
January, that's good.
So,
Okay. No action on number 7, we'll have more information.
so just table this then? So it will be on the next,
Yes.
okay.
I've got a question that I should have asked earlier. I was trying to be quiet, but, this year, do we have a meeting next month scheduled that we sent in?
We have got to discuss that in the old business, Charlie,
Put it down.
Yeah.
because we have to see if there's going to be a quorum. If we have a quorum, then we can. If not, as you said, we will have to file a notice.
We'll have to notice.
Yeah, and we can do that in
Ahead
ample
of
time.
time.
Yeah, we can do that in ample time. Is that correct, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. All right, brings number 8, the Jefferson Highway Association Conference proposal to host.
What is the Jefferson Highway?
The Jefferson Highway,
What page
it's,
is it on?
it runs from, Grace, do you know what page that's on?
33.
Looks like 33.
33.
Yeah, 33. This was emailed to us, And basically, the Jefferson Highway is much like the Route 66, but it's running from Canada to New Orleans. And they have been working on this for several years. And I was really pleased when the gentleman came in. They actually have the association formed, and there have been 2 conferences hosted already. We are supposed to have in the city, it comes directly through Durant. And we are supposed to have in the city, the signage, the historical signage that was already, it is already up. I don't know if that was delayed because I have not seen them, but he told me he was checking on it to see. Because when he came in, that was one of the reasons he came in, was to look to see if those signs had been placed.
I've never seen any signage, it says Denison, I've never seen any signage in Denison.
There is.
Where?
Well, I don't know where, but I know there is.
Because they had that in 2017 in Denison, Texas, on page 39.
Right. And that's what, this is, the proposal is there, we can fill it out. That's what you have to do in order to host the conference.
What highway does it come in on from the north?
70.
70?
Mhm.
That's east-west.
Mhm. But it comes in, it's really strange the route that it follows, and we don't have a map in there, it
Yeah,
wasn't
you can
included
Google
in
it, you can
that.
Google it, and it'll show
Yeah.
up on Google. I've done that.
So what's the cost?
Well, that's up to us. I mean, they're asking us to do a proposal for them.
Okay, this is just. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what, basically, I'm saying, do you want us to follow through on this?
I would like for you to call Denison, Texas, and whoever's over it, and see how it benefits Denison.
How do they get down to Denison on 70?
Well.
Okay, I'm not
it's in the
understanding the
annual
question.
conference history
I'm not
of the Jefferson
understanding,
Highway.
I'm not understanding the question, Jim.
Well, isn't the Jefferson Highway Association that goes through Denison, Texas?
Yes, just as it comes through Durant, but how would they know how it impacts them?
They should, if they have it on here. I mean, they should know what effect it has on Denison, Texas.
Jefferson Highway in Oklahoma.
It goes through Miami.
It runs, I think it runs out of 6975 or 70, not Highway 70.
Oh, that's what I was wondering, how we got the Denison and us on
No,
Well,
they-
it
70.
has to because you come down through Muskogee and
Okay,
Carthage,
yeah.
Missouri, and Denison, Texas.
Yeah, there,
Sure, that's always 6975.
yeah.
All we need to know is, do you want us to follow through with the proposal?
Looks like they're expecting up to 100 participants. There's space for that. Does it cost us anything to
That's
submit
what I
a
asked.
proposal? Other than a little bit of time to fill out the application?
Time to fill out the application, and I'm sure that there are questions in there. And I've got to be honest with you, I just wanted to find out if there was interest.
Okay.
Is there
But-
any benefit to it?
Well, the benefit would be pulling them in for 4 days to your community,
Up to 100 people.
and hopefully filling up hotels.
Ames, Iowa, Olathe, Kansas, Park Rapids, Minnesota, Muskogee, Oklahoma, 2015, Carthage, Missouri, 2016, Denison, Texas, 2017, 2018, St. Joseph, Missouri, 2019, Nacogdoches, Louisiana, 20 was canceled, 21 was canceled, 2022 is Pittsburgh, Kansas, 2023 was Mason City, Iowa, and 2024 is scheduled for Alexandria, Louisiana.
How to get on to Alexandria, Louisiana? I'm just saying, the annual conference, if you have it here, it brings in 100 people, is what you're saying?
I don't see any problem with going ahead and applying as long as it's minimal work effort. It is only 100 people, but at the same time, it's for 4 days.
Sure,
So I'm generally in favor.
sure.
Well, I think what Jim may have been asking is if we contacted Denison or one or two of these others, we'd find out what kind of reception they had. to
Yes.
it.
Okay.
Back in 2017.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's what I was
Dennis-
asking, what question?
Yeah,
That's the
Do you
main
want
question. They'll know what it did for
Right.
business in Texas back in 17.
Right. What we need to know is, do you want us to pursue this and go ahead and turn in a proposal?
Yeah,
Turn
see
it
what,
on.
I think it'd be a
the,
good
the
thing.
phone number's 918, which
He,
is,
the gentleman, I've met the gentleman, and he's out of, not Miami, but where was that, Grace? I don't think McAllister's a 918, I think it's a 405.
I think after you call Dennis in Texas, you'll find out if you want to pursue it anymore.
that might be Muskogee.
Or Muskogee, either one.
I move that we authorize the authoring of a conference proposal.
Thank you, Mike.
I'll say it.
Okay.
At least check into it.
All right, but motion been made and seconded.
I'm sorry, who was the second? Trustee Calhoun,
Yes?
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Reed,
Yes,
Trustee Thorpe,
Yes.
Vice Chair Dewald,
Yes.
and Chairman Shear.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like the minutes to reflect that Trustee Davis exited the meeting at this time and that there continues to be a quorum.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you,
do
Mike.
have a quorum.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
All right. We'll go ahead with number 9, then we'll go back up to number 4, the grant wrap-ups, okay? Number 9 is, the Oklahoma Travel Industry Association Annual Contribution Partnership, the approval of it.
Number 40, page 40.
On page 40? That page.
This is actually a $2,500 sponsorship, but from our side, we pay for $1,250 of it. And we've always done that. Huh?
Who pays the other 1250
We do.
in the chamber?
Uh-huh.
So what do you think the benefits are on this?
Well, I'm going to be real honest with you. Oklahoma tourism is going in a different direction, and we do not even know what direction they're headed. I think it's important that we do remain this year, but I think we need to see how it plays out before we do anything or commit to it for next year.
How many
And
years have we been doing this?
ever since we started
Well,
in 17.
Has the chamber been doing it prior to the?
We had been doing a smaller, but what they did, they said if we combined it, it would include both Discover Durant and the chamber if we combine it, and that's what we voted to do the last few years.
any chance in the future we can have a convention down here with this? And Durant?
There's always a chance, Jim,
Where they have it, Moulton, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa?
yes. And we've invited them here several times, that's part of it. My fear is that we are going backwards with tourism instead of forward, and that once again, the rural communities are going to have to really come together as a regional concept to make a difference.
So you're saying this organization is going mainly just the metropolitan areas?
No, not specifically this organization. OTIA is Oklahoma Travel Industry Association. The travelok.com is actually the tourism segment. So this is actually geared strictly towards travel, the industry. And I really feel that this is probably the more stable of the two right now. This also includes us into a lot of the different types of things that we are listed on in all of their conferences. The Lieutenant Governor's summits that he has throughout, and we have hosted 2 of those, if you remember here. I'm looking at probably hosting, or we will be looking at probably getting to host again in 2024, the fall of 2024. There again, I wish I had more information to tell you, because I don't. I just know that we have had, the tourism is upside down right now in Oklahoma.
Well, the big bucks we get off of this, if any, is gonna be Discover Oklahoma. Let's have an advertising, and that's gonna bring us in money, I don't know about this at all.
That's part of this, Jim. Discover Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It's part of this.
If I might, Janet, am I correct? There's basically two entities. You've got the state entity, which is state agency, and then you have this private entity, which is the Travel Association. And I think it really helps us have a presence on the private entity if we want to have any impact on what's happening with the state entity.
Very well put, Scott.
Is a private, would it be a private entity, and it's not a nonprofit, right? It's a profit.
It would be a nonprofit association.
This one is right here.
Yes.
So,
And it's not
we're not paying for high salaries.
No, not at all. No.
No, I think, we should take Janet's recommendation to go this year, and next year we'll reconsider.
Would you like a motion?
And then motion.
If you want one.
No.
So be it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You have a second?
I'll second it.
So, Grace, can you go vote?
Trustee Calhoun,
Yes.
Trustee Davis, absent. Trustee Reed,
Yes.
Trustee Thorpe,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Dewald,
Yes.
Chairman Shear.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now let's go back
Yeah.
up to.
Yeah, 'cause she's been waiting
Yeah.
patiently.
Okay. I'm sorry, let's go back up to number 4, the grant wrap-ups.
You wanna go ahead and skip to ours?
Yeah, we'll just, yeah, right. I'm sorry. Lindsay.
I learned a lot today.
What page is this on?
I think we were item 4B,
Softball,
maybe.
Page 13.
13, okay, there we go.
What is it?
I'm Lindsay with the Durant Softball Boosters. I brought a little table last year. You all had questions and I was ill-equipped. So I brought a little sample table tent this year. And,
Is that microphone on down there? I can't.
yes, sir. Sorry, I'll get closer.
Can you turn up a little bit?
They need speakers back here, they got speakers out there, they need some behind us.
Let's do this. Maybe it'll pick me up, but I'll just talk louder. We brought you all a little t-shirt from our event. This was the 20th annual Richard Rouse softball tournament and the list of the teams. Once again, the athletes were absolutely thrilled to be able to have a takeaway from the experience. This year was the first year in a while that we've had rain that we encountered during the tournament. So we had, it rained for days and days through the weekend.
Move the mic, yeah.
It rained for days and days through the weekend, all the way up until Wednesday prior to the tournament, which ultimately rendered one of the fields unplayable. And then with that prediction of rain and that one field unplayable, and just what happens with an outdoor sport, the tournament was reduced to kind of a friendly or a different format where there wasn't essentially a winner or a loser, but we tried to get in as many games as possible. So all the teams except one were still able to come, which was fantastic. We were thrilled about that. So we only were short one team. Ultimately, that did result, though, in less games, which resulted in less expenses, obviously less umpires, less fields, that sort of thing. But we got great feedback. We had a whole handful of food trucks present. We had a great hospitality area, and we ended up still having a couple of teams stay overnight. So one of the teams traditionally stays at a lake property. Another team stays here, so that, we still had some visitors that stayed overnight, but we had some teams that just came for one day or the other.
Is this tournament for 2 nights?
It's historically been Thursday through Saturday, but this year, because of the weather, Thursday night didn't happen. The Thursday 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. games didn't happen, and then there were games Friday and Saturday.
How many teams do you have last year?
We had the same number of teams. It was 12 or 13 teams. So
From how far off? or all the way to Oklahoma City, Tulsa? or-
That was ultimately our goal again this year. You know, Durant softball experienced the former coach who'd been with the team for a long time, Coach Little, transitioned into another role, and we had a new coach this year. So while we had plans for growth and more similar to, as mentioned earlier, teams get booked, like this is school schedule, so like the high school schedule's already booked for next year. And so,
Or the teams
so
that-
I'm saying that because we weren't able to draw in as many teams. Our teams came from Ardmore, Broken Bow, we had local, you know, what we would consider local teams like
So we're
Caddo,
looking at a radius of 100 miles. probably.
about 100 miles. Our intentions were to expand that to a broader.
So most of them then come and drive back.
Yes, I think last year we had 4 teams stay. So, which each team has approximately 20 players, and teams stay 3 or 4 to a room. So, and then they would stay 2 or 3 nights.
Your outreach, when you advertise, goes farther than a 100-mile radius then, so other teams could come in if they wanted.
Absolutely, it's Oklahoma high school teams. So yes, but it's not restricted to class. It's kind of a delicate balance because we want to host the tournament, but we also have to be mindful of the teams that cross each other in regionals and districts. So, you know, because you don't want to have teams playing here during season that might cross paths later.
I just want to commend Lindsay on her efforts that she puts forth with this. I know there's a lot of internal strife when you start, and I just say congratulations on a job well done for the last few years, and congratulations on the girls ending up as runner-ups. Great job, great job.
Well, thank you, Janet. We're super proud of those players. They start in the summer working out, getting stronger and getting ready, and then get really intense in July and play through September. So, and a lot of those kids play year-round, competitive outside of the school. So, and they're multi-sport athletes too. We have wrestlers and power lifters and basketball players and tennis players. We have golf, like all the sports. So,
Yeah.
great and just as a little feather in there, a little recognition for them. They won academic all-state this year for the second year in a row.
Fantastic.
So,
you think
Congratulations.
This tournament will generate at least $10,000 worth of money being spent in Durant
Yes,
on
sir.
that weekend,
Yes.
maybe 20?
Yes, and it has the capacity to do so much more, which we saw the difference last year when we had great weather. So last year we were sweating bullets. It felt like summertime. So
Do you send out, when you send it out to these teams, do you send out all the hotels and all the restaurants and everything that?
yes, sir, they get a copy of the packet that you all generate, and then we're available to help them coordinate meals and that sort of thing. And then we also do a tournament wrap-up form, just a real basic. We give them out pins, and they just kind of scratch in, you know, where did they stay, what restaurants did they visit, that sort of thing, and then what do you recommend, or what would you like to see next year? This year, our big request was steak. Next year, they would like to see steak.
On that brochure, would you happen to have the Sherry's restaurant on it too?
I believe so.
We hand out the information packet on everything in Durant.
I know, I was just trying-
I'm certain Sherry's is on there.
I just put a plug in for it.
What'd you say the most requested thing?
For steak, they wanted a steak dinner,
Steak
and we,
dinner.
dream big, guys. So, but banks get involved and contribute. Local butchers are contributing meat, and banks are cooking, and so it's a lot bigger. You know, it sounds like a little softball, but it's a whole community effort. So, lots of people give.
With the banks contributing the grill, if you get some meat and all that, you could give them a steak dinner.
Maybe. I might have to recruit you for next year to be my spokesperson. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Lindsay.
You-
And on the other two, everything was complete on all of that, so it was a wrap-up on all of those.
On Law Street, can we look at that for a minute?
It's in there.
Okay. Now, lastly, did we have one night that they had Oktoberfest like they do over in Munster? Was there any big event that you had on Oktoberfest? You know what I'm talking about over in Munster? Where they have a
There were
grill and
several
turkey
different
and everything?
events that occurred.
Oktoberfest was a month long, ending with one big event.
There was one big event?
Yes, but it was all month long, and then the biggest event on, the first Saturday of October.
What?
October 7 and 8. October 7 was the biggest draw day. But then we ran Oktoberfest all the way from September 20th through the end of October.
So what events you have on that weekend that you said that you drew that many people in? Was there very many people?
Oh, yeah, we had about 3,000 people around.
Did you have any events?
Yes,
slated?
we had all kinds of races, sporting events, games.
At the place itself or
Seen
southeastern or where?
Brenda.
At
Oh,
our-
what is it?
I'm talking about
She's the
small,
one that actually runs the program.
contests.
Uh,
To keep people engaged.
Yeah. We did traditional German, we call them traditional German shenanigans. So we had a weenie dog race, we had costume contest, we had beard games, where teams competed in like the nail drive and just traditional things that you would see in Munster, just on a smaller scale.
Did you advertise pretty good for that too?
Absolutely,
Even
yeah.
on television?
Yes.
Now, you built a stage. Did you build that outside or you built it inside or where did you build it?
We've had a stage. There's a stage that stays there.
Did
I
you
attended
work
and-
in it?
Did I
you
work in it? I did.
October 1st?
Yeah, I was there.
I attended, and it was very well attended.
You attended that weekend?
Yes.
We also had an art market, so the warehouse was full of vendors and artists, and then we did a whole walkthrough, and it was a big event.
And once again, I would really like to encourage our trustees to get out and attend some of these events. If you have questions about them, attend, see the number of people that we've got attending those things, and the type of money that they're putting back into the economy. I really think that you would be impressed on any of these events. And we do try to at least have one representative at any of the events that we sponsor.
Where all
Did you ask
did
them
they-
how far did they come out? How far did the person come on that weekend? How far did he come? 50 miles, 100 miles?
I would say 100 to 150 radius.
Do you know where they come from?
We've had people a lot. We have a crowd from McCurtain County that come every year. We've got McKinney, Frisco, Dallas. A lot of the Dallas people were really pleased with what we were doing in that one day, that they could make the weekend trip up, and then Atoka and Kingston and just around Fort Smith we had a group from.
When
and-
did they all park?
Any of them stay over an extra night or just
Yeah.
after they come and went back?
I think a lot of them came Friday night, and then they stayed all day Saturday and stayed Saturday as well.
We of course have credit card data, so we have addresses for anybody that makes any kind of purchases and such. And it is kind of remarkable to me that probably 75, maybe 70% of the attendees are not from Bryan County.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Charles?
I just wondered where they all parked if you had 5,000.
First come, first serve. They were walking downtown, that's for sure.
The Texoma Bank's parking lot is vacant. Also, the Market Square, they utilize that as well.
So you had the Market Square filled up that day?
Now this one didn't.
Just traffic, downtown traffic, absolutely.
run either.
They didn't, but they also didn't include the entire budget. They just took what was for the one thing that they used the 10,000 for.
Well, it wasn't a.
You're right. You're right.
That's all the questions I have.
Are there any questions on the Southeastern Rodeo?
Yes, let's go to that.
What page is that?
It's going to be the very next page.
Page 16.
16.
Say, what do they call entertainment at the rodeo?
They had a concert.
It's what?
They had a concert
Where they have it at?
at the arena.
Oh, they did?
hmm
They had a band come in?
It was like a single guy. He might have had a full band, but it was his name on the poster.
Was you out there? Did you watch?
I did not go.
Were you out there, Janet?
Yes, I went out.
What,
So he's a pretty good singer?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Jim, I did not go out the night that they had the concert.
was this at the Roundup Club, or at the
Yes,
new?
no, it wasn't at the new arena because it's not ready.
Not ready.
to go.
Okay, I was thinking it was at the Roundup. I go past there, I can't remember, yeah.
Now, this is a Savage Storm, and they brought them in probably from what, Kansas and North Oklahoma and all that, right?
Whatever is in their region, and that was on the original grant, and can't recall.
I know this one and also the radio they have sometimes, they bring in excellent people
Yes,
from all over, so.
yes.
Did you have some people staying at your place, the southeastern rodeo?
I've slept since then. I don't know, we have a lot of people from, sometimes from Choctaw Casino and other things like that going. I'll take notes of it next time they have, but they usually, on this weekend, with that and the casino and all that, we usually fill out, all of us do.
That's also in the
Charles
wrap-up,
and the Canton and all that, so.
in the grant.
These things, they bring in money and overnight.
They put bands in the heads, don't they?
And on top of that, restaurant, and you're right down the road from them, so, you know, it's a payoff event for tourism. It's one of the best ones, this one and the one that they have out here in the summertime.
Okay.
So I have no problem with either one of those. They're excellent.
Okay, I think that takes care of everything. We go down to number 10, informational items, Discovery Durant Activity Marketing Report.
On the last page, page 41 and 42, I've got a little snippet of our Facebook page. We are still growing. The concert series was really good, and then we were pushing Magnolia Christmas Festival and uploading more photos from the powwow got a lot of hits. So we were putting out photos both days of the Friday, Saturday of the powwow, or Saturday, Sunday of the powwow, sorry. And those numbers are reflected in that report. Just shows overall we're doing good on our social media. Page 42 are upcoming concerts at the Grand Theater in Choctaw.
I'll say that I did go to the powwow.
I think that's
The powwow was awesome.
They had a house full. They're gonna have to have a bigger building.
What page, Greg?
The last, 41 and 42.
Before it was packed out of the mall.
Bigger than,
Well, that's-
this is the first year I've gone.
Okay,
They had quite a big bar, but before
What
COVID,
is, I don't know what this is.
okay,
on this one right here, so we're looking at the
that's what she
professional
was just
dashboard.
explaining. This is
The
the,
post outreach is 6,300 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
this is what he's explaining.
300
Now, here's
contacts.
Jen.
Did you look back on the last 3 months and see how we were doing compared to the last 3 months? Is this lower outreach than it was last month and the month before?
I'm gonna say it's a steady growth.
No,
If you
I
follow
agree.
our page
Yeah,
likes,
man.
so we got 50 page likes in the last 28 days, which powwow is about all we've done. When we had fall concert series, that number was up in the hundreds and the 200s. So we're not losing any followers for sure. And then it just depends on what content we're putting out based on what's going on in town.
What I would like to see next time we have this is
That's
have
what
it
they
for
do
the
in
same
these
month as
slides.
last year.
That's
See
50.
if we're going
So
up
these
and
are
down.
Okay.
brand new
As
So
last
this
year-
is
that we
in
have.
October, this was in what, in November?
Mhm. This would have been the last 28 days from when I printed this, right before Thanksgiving.
But let's just
So-
try to, you know, and have the
And
month
this
that you
is
took it and
costing us
then
how much?
the month last
It's not
year at the
costing
same
us
time.
anything.
We can see how
This
how
is
it's
what we
going, if
pull
it's
off
going
of the
up and down.
That's from our website.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
the
from
number of
our
clicks
website.
that's hitting on the
Yeah.
site.
Okay.
Now, I like
It
to
doesn't
see,
cost us
and it
anything.
should be, I mean,
Look at that.
people
And
who
this
sit
is
at
the
home do
Choctaws.
this.
This is
But
what.
what
thought
it is,
it
it
was.
should be more clicks every year.
I don't know
Mhm.
If
anything,
not,
but
then we need to readjust or put something on
I don't
the
know.
website that will pull
Right.
some more people in.
I've heard of Clint
Absolutely.
Black, it's only one.
Oh, who is it?
Anything else?
Well, the Choctaw Nation Tourism Department, on the last page, I guess we've got a list of who they are having.
Those are their biggest concerts coming
Next
in.
few months.
So has anybody heard of Lovers in the Night?
They are coming.
Clint
Okay.
Black's the only one I've heard of, but then
Lovers
I'm
in
a
the Night
little,
was on Sunday,
I'm a
the
little
26th.
older than these, I imagine.
You heard it?
The good thing is, Jim, we're not paying for any of them.
Yeah.
The good thing is, we're not paying for any of them.
Yeah.
Not?
We're not.
And,
If you're a Choctaw, you are.
and from a
No.
personal standpoint, I
You're
think I
making
probably get
money.
more business from them having concerts than I do from a lot of these other events.
Which
Yeah.
one?
Anytime they have a big name concert, I have a few tables that,
Sure you do.
they eat with me instead of eating out there, which kind of surprises. That does
I think that's great.
And
Well, that's
I
good.
probably get more business from this than I do
I
many of
think-
these others.
I think our hotels get business from them more than, their price points are around $399 for concert nights.
We do pretty good, but once they put up that 21-story tower, the prices has gone down some because they renovated the first one. When they got that up and running, the other one, the prices are not like they were last year.
I want to
They
know
have more
what
rooms to
price
sell.
list you're looking at.
They have more room to sell.
Because I've had two people that have contacted me to ask if we could get them a room with a discount, and both of them had said that they were $399. One was
At
for,
where?
at
That's at the
Choctaw, Choctaw. And I was trying to think of the artist that was there that weekend.
Well, did they have a gaming package with it?
Did you tell them that you're with the chamber?
I don't know, I didn't get it, so.
Did you tell them that you're with the chamber and you'll give them during hotels and they're a lot better than $399?
Yes, sir, you're exactly right.
Good.
And you know what they told me?
What?
They had tried 3 of the hotels and they were already sold out.
Really?
So I said, good.
Did you sell out, Charles?
Mm-mm.
I had a friend in town a couple of weeks ago, and he stayed at Choctaw Monday through Thursday because they honored his military
Discount.
discount. They told him Thursday, said if you're and he was planning on being here Friday, Saturday, and he did. He said, if you're gonna stay here Friday and Saturday, you're gonna pay us $500 a night.
There you go.
And,
It's slowing down.
so he found, he didn't stay at my house, he found another place to stay Friday and Saturday night.
It is
Can I
slowing
make a
down some
motion to
because those
adjourn?
hold on a second, there was a time, the last 2, 3, 4 weeks, that they were having those concerts, and I don't know if anybody really sold out, did you?
Mm-mm.
There was 2 or 3 of them that we didn't come close to selling out, especially on Friday night. On Saturday night, we didn't close.
I
But we're
think
not
they've,
selling
I
out.
think they've got gaming packages they sell on the weekends with their rooms.
Yes.
I make a motion to adjourn.
We got old business,
I
new
second.
business,
Oh,
okay?
old business we do need to cover, and that's for our December meeting.
No.
I will not be here. How many will be here for that meeting? The date on that is what, Grace? The
That date,
27th?
December 19th is when it's scheduled.
No,
No.
the last,
It'd be the last Tuesday.
It
Last
is,
Tuesday,
but that's the
December
Christmas
26th.
week, so on the schedule that we submitted last year, it was December 19th. That was already bumped up because of the holidays.
okay.
Okay.
But
We
it's
did put it
still,
on
okay.
it's still not that convenient, but
December 19th,
Then we're okay, I guess. Scott will not be here.
Did you say
Okay.
December the 19th?
yes.
Where you going, Germany?
No, I'm still not going. That particular day.
So what we can do then, we can go ahead and Grace can prepare an agenda, and if we know that there's not gonna be a quorum, then we can send out a notice.
Well, we'll have to find that out ahead of time.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you gotta go, I think it's, 10 business days or something like that for the notice of a change of,
We'll confer
No.
with the attorney to find out exactly when we'd have to post that.
you had all that. You won't need to call the attorney. You had it in that booklet you gave us with all.
That's right, we do.
We don't
So
need
we'll
to
look
pay
and
him any
see.
more than we
It
have
gets
to.
busy around the 19th, 20th,
Yeah.
up to Christmas, so it wouldn't be surprised if we don't even have a quorum
Yeah.
It's only a few weeks away
I
as
agree.
well.
I
All
agree
right.
with that. Okay.
Brings us to new business, and I've got a couple things to say. Our charging stations need work, okay? We put some little signs up. I was surprised at what they cost us for the installation. I'm not sure we got our money's worth on that. But all of us need to stay after the city to do something. I mean, it's trashing around the one on Lost Street. The Lost Street one, I don't have an EV, but the Lost Street one gets the most use because apparently it has the fastest charger. Okay?
Okay.
And Wednesday, Mike Ridgway and his wife came in for lunch, late lunch, and he said there was a waiting line at Law Street for people to recharge their cars, because I guess people traveling and everything. These people are coming through Durant, that shows up they come to charge, and there's trash laying around. I got 2 of the bulbs replaced on the parking lot. There's still one out. I don't know why it hasn't been replaced. But we need to bear down on the city.
Is there ever a
council.
line
What
out
about
here?
these two out here, or 3?
Well,
They don't
these-
charge as fast.
These are on as fast charging, okay? I don't know anything about it, but apparently, the one at Law Street is not super fast, is what I've been
Oh.
told, but it's the fastest one in town.
Danny, could you do this? Could you ask Mike when they come in to just shoot a video of that?
Okay?
There's
And-
photos.
Yeah.
They posted photos on Facebook of
Okay.
all the trash.
And
They-
we,
they
does
did
the
post
beautification, I know that those were both initiated through grants.
Mhm.
Does the beautification have any money in it that could be expended? Okay.
This will be about 4 or 5 times a year. It's gonna be on the holiday, July the 4th.
It's gonna be more and more.
It's gonna be more and more.
I mean,
We've had complaints about this one not working,
Yeah.
because there would be people that have came over to the chamber before and asked.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right next door.
Yeah.
And you see, I mean.
Yeah, this one
Well,
isn't
who do you
utilized
call
as
when
much
things
as,
aren't working?
We're in the process.
that it's not working, it's,
I mean, who do you call?
we don't have any instructions on any of it, that's
The
just
city
it.
Durant's going to call on that. I'm in
Well,
the
and the
process
city,
I'm
when
in
we,
the process of putting one in each hotel now.
Are
But
you?
it's not gonna be a fast charger. When they come in, stay all night, they can charge it up and take off the next day.
so you're gonna run an extension cord
No,
from
there's
the.
already a UV charger
I'm
out there.
kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
it's a 110.
Yeah.
It takes 2 days. You know, it's.
Well, that way you can keep them overnight.
You bet. There's
Yeah.
one out there at
Strategy.
Best Experience. It's already, in the process within the next week.
Yeah.
They'll be able to use that, and there'll be another one.
That's
We're
good.
running a hotel out here, so we've had them for 6 months. We're just now getting them installed.
That's
And they'll be
something,
overnight charge.
that's something, Grace, that we do need to add to that list
How long
on our hotels.
How long it take
If they
to
have
I would
EV
say at least
stations,
Yeah.
or where the EV stations are located in the community. So that's a good
You know they
idea.
make
They'll have
them.
to-
Can
they'll have
they
to
pay with their card?
Yeah, they'll pay probably $10.
Guys, I've got another
Elon
meeting
Musk is
scheduled
putting
at
out
5.
fast
I've got a
chargers.
new,
Do what?
Okay.
Elon
Another
Musk
meeting
is putting out
scheduled.
fast chargers.
Yeah.
If it's all right, can I in new business make a motion that we cancel the December 19 meeting and provide notice to the city clerk 10 days prior to doing so? And then that way, we don't have to worry about it, and we don't have that much business to transact.
We still got to
We still
put
gotta
the notice
report
out.
that to the city clerk within 10 days of the meeting, but we could do that tomorrow and be fine.
Get
Yeah,
close to
we
the
could
state
be
of Oklahoma
fine
too, don't
tomorrow.
you?
I think that'll be, I think that's a good idea.
I think, yeah, that's good idea. Let's.
So that's a motion I'd like to make. that we
I'll
can-
second that motion.
Okay.
And if the notice is appropriate.
And I guess something
That'll be
critical
good.
came
That
up,
way
we
we
could
can
always
go
call a
ahead.
special meeting.
Who seconded that? Was that your second?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Calhoun?
Yes,
Trustee Reed?
Yes.
Trustee Thorpe?
Yes.
Vice Chair Dewald?
Yes.
Chairman Shear.
Yes.
We need to get the, like you said, the notice out tomorrow.
Yeah. There's still
Get it
one.
out as soon as possible and let the rest of the board know.
Okay.
And I'd move to adjourn at this time.
Move adjourned. I'll second that.
Trustee Calhoun,
Yes?
Trustee Reed,
Yes.
Trustee Thorpe,
Yes.
Vice Chair Dewald,
Yes.
Chairman Shear.
Yes.
Thank you, Jim.
Oh, those things are, they're not cheap, but they're